Ushuaia!
Where there is nowhere else but to look up at the rest of the world, this is the southernmost city on the planet. Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to another edition of Borders on Budgets. On this episode, we are in Ushuaia, Argentina, where we will walk along the harbor before eventually making our way to somewhere in the local glacier.
Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to this pack of matches, and thank you very much for tuning in.
Seems like this should be on the Blair Witch.
Next episode. What a reminder! Borders on Budgets.
If there is any need for a reminder as to how isolated Ushuaia is, this destination sign outside of the city's tourist office reminds visitors as to how far Ushuaia is to various locales on the planet. While Ushuaia markets itself as the end of the world, there is still a ways to go to really get to the end of the world. Before the construction of the Panama Canal in the early 20th century, Cape Horn, the southern tip of South America, was at its maritime prominence for shipping in the 19th century. Ushuaia's oceanic presence today is based around cruise liners and day trips around the archipelago of Tierra del Fuego. At the heart of Ushuaia's port is its Plaza Isla Malvinas, a reminder to Argentinians that they still lay claim to these islands located 500 kilometers from the mainland in the South Atlantic Ocean, and the dispute stems back to 1833 when, after having held the territory for less than 2 years, it was Britain who came into these islands, recaptured them, and to this day continues to maintain and hold them under their jurisdiction. For Britain and the rest of the world, the Malvinas are otherwise known as the Falkland Islands. This eternal flame is alit in memory of the over 650 Argentinian soldiers and armed forces who died during the Malvinas War against Britain that was fought in 1982. There aren't many more cities on this planet whose name is as distinctive as Ushuaia, and even as we eliminate letters, we still know where we are. What this shot also allows me to do is to give a panoramic view of the port and the surrounding mountains, and it also shows the schizophrenic weather that we're having today on the tip of the South American continent. Not surprisingly, Argentina has a large naval base in Ushuaia. If Argentina's conflict with Great Britain in 1982 over the Malvinas Islands has been well documented, a few years earlier, Argentina also had a dispute with neighboring Chile regarding the Beagle Canal, the waterway separating the two countries in the Tierra del Fuego. On the perimeter of Ushuaia is the city's historical jail. From the outside perspective, it can't be seen as to, in fact, how large this incarceration center really is. The Ushuaia prison was in operation from 1883 until just after the Second World War. While this wing is in a sanitized state with its exhibits, photographs, and other information, Museum Director Carlos will give us a glimpse as to what one of the wings looks like in its original state.
There were so many immigrants to Buenos Aires that, well, they start to take out all the people they don't want, and they threw it here. The Walking Dead. The idea was for 376, but immediately the capacity went to 700. They put 2 beds per cell. And afterwards, with all the political problems we have in Argentina, they were about 1,400 in the city, here, and the barracks. Never the heat goes inside the cell. So there was very cold. The only place that was heat was here.
If Ushuaia today remains isolated, how much more isolated would it have been when this prison was at its height before the Second World War?
Mostly we had a ship from Buenos Aires, one each 3 months, something like that, sometimes 4 months, and they bring medicine and prisoners.
This convicted killer was sentenced to life imprisonment. As with many other prisoners at the Ushuaia jail, they also had hard labor tasks, and he was responsible for blasting rock with dynamite. Ushuaia's population, más o menos, is 60,000, the vast majority of whom have come in the past 30 years with the arrival of the cruise ships and with it a boom in the tourist industry.
Jugando divertido, pues sí.
Oh, I have to.
Yeah, excuse sir.
Naturally, the majority of Ushuaia's commercial activity is in its downtown nearest to the port. However, it doesn't take long once leaving the downtown to see the authentic Ushuaia. Up the hill and away from the port is Ushuaia's residential area. A hodgepodge of architectural style and types of buildings would be more reflective of Ushuaia and its historical character, especially considering how difficult it is to build in a geographically isolated area. This one street alone would show that Ushuaia is not as concerned about building permits or continuity amongst its structures. Only seconds ago, the sun, in all of its brilliance, had come out from behind the clouds. No sooner have I brought out the camera and the light has gone flat. However, it could be worse. I was expecting rain, and yes, we still have the mountain to climb. Not the most glorious sign to announce that we're on our way to a glacier. Well, if that last sign lacked in style, I don't know that this is any better. I'm going to ask the locals. This way to the glacier?
Yes.
Good. Thank you. I have a choice. I can take the paved road, or I can take the path through the forest. We're running low on daylight. No one knows that I'm up here. I think I'll take the forest. I made the right choice. That construction at the fork in the road, it only lasted about 100 meters. Oh, a pack of stray dogs, and they're big ones. No complaints about the signage. Very comfortable surroundings for a forest walk. Not at all what I expected in Ushuaia. I actually can be confused if I was in the Pacific Northwest of North America rather than the southern tip of South America. Hello. The bikers were a bonus, but to step out of the forest after half an hour and observe a glacier, you know, that's a spectacular view. This is the end of the world. You can only go up from here. That is if you want to see more people. There's always Antarctica to the south. Glacier Martial, named after a French explorer, is accessible. However, I knew from the start that we would make it somewhere up the mountain, but not to where the snow begins. From a historical port in Ushuaia, through to a forest walk at the tip of the Andes, yes, it's been a long day, a good day, but a long day. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Borders on Budgets. A reminder, Borders on Budgets, long distance hikes, slices of life, not a lot of money. From Ushuaia, Argentina, the end of the world, thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Ooh, tunnel! It's a tunnel! Oh, how neat! Woo, woo! I have to extend for the beak. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, where's Ushuaia? There's Ushuaia. Okay, let's do that. Did you like this episode? Good. Help Borders on Budgets. Hit the subscribe button below and leave a comment. Oh, be nice. It was a bad hair day.